Hey everyone, Ryan here, MandRproductions, and today I've got pictures of two more new LEGO Star Wars Summer 2024 sets for you. One crazily overpriced, and the other has a lot of cool figures, but we'll get to those because first I want to take a quick look at this picture of R2-D2 and C-3PO together. It is an actual official image of the two next to each other, so you can see the actual scale and size of them, like actually when they're physically next to each other, and it looks just as incredible as we thought it would, very frankly. I love this. I think it's a perfect combo of sets. The Chewbacca, while probably in scale with these, just feels so out of place. These were the only two that needed to exist. This is fantastic. So I love that. I know we talked about that in the last video. I just wanted to show that they actually put out a picture of that. But moving on, I want to take a look at the first new summer set that they revealed, and that is the 75396 Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit. It has 558 pieces and is said to cost $80? Excuse me? $80 for this set is frankly insane. Price per piece aside, that's insane. It's just crazy. Now, we have 6 minifigures. We'll come back to those because first I want to talk about the Desert Skiff. I actually think the Desert Skiff in this set, price aside, again, is very good because it's about the same size as the ones that we had in 2012, 2017, but it's just kind of upgraded, updated. The one thing I don't like about it is the one piece in the middle on the bottom of the clear stand pieces that's like wider than the rest. I think if all three were the same size, either wide or thin, doesn't matter, it would look better. Or if it had like the tan, in the past done like a tan piece underneath it to make it look like it's hovering on sand, I think that would maybe be more ideal. That's the one that, like, nitpick I have of the actual build on the Desert Skiff, and at that, it's not actually part of the actual skiff. The companion part of the build here is the Sarlacc Pit, and it does make you wish the stilts on the skiff went higher because the Sarlacc Pit ends up like at the same height, and it just doesn't work for like how it was in the movie. But the Sarlacc Pit build is still really cool. You've got like the flailing arms, you've got the mouth of the Sarlacc Pit, which you can drop Boba Fett into, and let's say you had a Book of Boba Fett figure, maybe have him crawl back out. I do wish they would do kind of the worn Sarlacc Pit version of Boba Fett. You know, it would be cool. The Sarlacc Pit, though, is massive compared to the other Sarlacc Pit builds that we've had in the past, and I have a sneaky suspicion that it's not because they wanted to make it look really good for this set alongside the Desert Skiff. It's because we obviously know we're getting a UCS Jabba's sail barge in September, October. That's going to be like, I think $350 or $550. It's one of those two prices. I can't remember exactly, but much larger than a normal Jabba's sail barge, and so that this thing doesn't look ridiculous next to it because they obviously are going to want you to put it next to it. That's why this set is releasing right now. They made it very big, and it ends up obviously making the price of this set like $80, which is still insane. Like, I don't even think that's worth $80, even though it is pretty large, but that's besides the point. Well, is it besides the point? I don't know. Anyway, 6 minifigures in the set. We'll start out with the 25th anniversary figure, Nien Nunb. This is a figure that a lot of people have wanted for a long time. They did 10 Nub, I think 10 years ago in 2014 in the B-Wing set, and this figure, while the same species, is so much better. The last one, they just printed the face onto a minifigure head, and this one, they actually gave him a completely unique mold for the face or the head. It's just so much better in every single conceivable way. Great upgrade of a figure. I don't think the same can be said for the Boba Fett figure in this set, though, because the Boba Fett is not the Return of the Jedi version of Boba Fett for some reason, even though like he should be. He also doesn't have his cloth pauldron piece that he also should have in this set that people defended not having in the mech set because it's a mech, but this clearly is not a mech, and it's clearly intended to be bought alongside a $500 set. It'd be like using a New Hope Luke Skywalker in this set instead of the actual episode 6 one that they made for the set, which looks great, by the way. Great Luke Skywalker, love it. Tatooine Luke is not a bad figure, but it's a bad figure for the set, and so that's kind of what I'm trying to get across with the Boba Fett, but that's, you know, whatever. Moving on, I think there is the highlight character. Well, Nien Nunb is the best character in this set, let's not get that wrong, but I really like Skiff Guard Lando. I just remember getting the other Skiff Guard Lando back in 2006, or one of the other ones back in 2006 when it came out, and I loved that figure as a kid, and so seeing it here, kind of an upgraded, updated version, just looks nice. We also have a Chewbacca, boring, but like, you know, you got to have Chewbacca. He's there. It's not like he needs like anything special. It's just the Chewbacca is so common. It's, you know, it's hard to look at and be excited about. It's like R2-D2. And then you have the Han Solo here, which looks nice. And he's doing like a little squint, I think, on his face. He definitely has one face where his eyes are open and one face where his eyes are closed. Really cool looking set. Has a lot of great stuff except for the Boba Fett, I think, and the price. So the Boba Fett and the price are the biggest pitfalls of this set. And I ultimately think many people will pass on it because of that. But it's also original trilogy, and it's going to be accompanying a $500 or so set. and so it's going to sell no matter what, and that's just kind of how things like this work. Welcome to LEGO Star Wars. The other side here is the 75385 Ahsoka Tano's Duel on Peridea. It is a $55 set with 382 pieces. I don't think it's as egregiously overpriced as a Desert Skiff set feels, but certainly, you know, a bit on the pricier side, and it could use a couple extra things to make it more worth that money, as we'll get to. So let's dive in on the build first. The build is kind of like a battle scene setup. The build does look really cool, although it does make use of a lot of stickers for $55 with the piece count that it has. It would feel like you should be getting all printed parts here, but you're just not. It's just going to be all stickers. That's also going to apply in our top-down view, where you can see a bunch of yellow lines or golden lines, and those are just all made of stickers. From this top-down view, you get an idea of the feature set of the set, which, like, there's just kind of one thing that it does, and that's that it makes the minifigures spin around. There's these pieces that are kind of hidden, like if you're looking at it like dead on, they're going to be hidden, but you can actually make the figures spin on their turntables without having to touch them, which is cool. Like, knock them off, kind of annoying when you're playing with it, or for a kid to play with it like that. Oh, and before we dive into the minifigures, I want to give 2 thumbs up to the box art designer on this one. Having Thrawn Star Destroyer looming above the build is just like super cool. It's really sick. Hopefully we get a Lego Thrawn Star Destroyer in the future. Who knows? Now we got 5 figures in the set. We'll start with Ahsoka. The detail on this figure is excellent. They've done a really good job of recreating everything. I also think she should have had dual molded arms. So I think if the top part is orange and the bottom part is white, it would make that like arm area look so perfect. It looks really good as is, and like for Lego standards, I think it's pretty close to perfect. But man, when you know dual molded arms are out there, and you know how a, you know, top part orange, bottom part white would look, boy, would that look nice on this Ahsoka very specifically, and we just don't get dual molded arms in Lego Star Wars sets, so I guess that's a pipe dream. You gotta have a CMF line, which Lego Star Wars is not privy to, but overall, decent Ahsoka minifigure. Pretty good Ahsoka minifigure, but yeah, just a couple things that I think could have been done better there. The Ezra character figure here, man, the eyes just kill me every time on this. Like, I think everything else about this figure is really good until you get to the eyes. He just looks possessed, and he's not. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it, you know, it's the same eyes as Ahsoka has, but Ahsoka doesn't have like human skin. She's orange, and so it doesn't like translate the same to me. So we move to Morgan Elsbeth, though. You can see she does get pupils, so she looks really good with them. They also found another use for that Darksaber piece, making it translucent green here for her like enchanted witch sword. It's also a bit awkward, like at the base of the lightsaber blade, or hilt rather, they gave it a stud. Like, I suppose I kind of see it when you look at it in the show, but it just looks really awkward at the Lego scale for this. Anyway, moving above that, we've got a couple of Imperial figures here with Grand Admiral Thrawn and Captain Enoch, or Enoch. And, you know, I think a lot of people... Oh, no, sorry, not Captain Enoch. Ooh, it's a Night Trooper. And I wanted to take a moment to talk about why I and pretty much everyone else thought it was going to be Captain Enoch, because obviously we have 4 other named characters in this set. What's to stop them from putting in a 5th? I don't think they're holding Captain Enoch for another set. Like, I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me that they would be doing that. Like, you know, they should have gone all out for this set with him, and they didn't. Black Series already has a Captain Enoch. It's not like they didn't have the information and couldn't have made it in time. Like, a lot of this other stuff would have also been confidential to basically the same point. So, like, it just feels like the type of thing where it's they made an active choice not to include the character. First off, it would have required a new helmet mold, and for whatever reason, they might have not had the money. Obviously, Lego Star Wars is their most successful theme and has all the money in the world, but they just don't want to give it to them. I don't know what the deal is, but the point is, they probably budgetarily maybe decided not to do it. That's why the biggest reason I think it's not in this set. Now, why did we think it would be in this set is because somewhere along the line, someone who saw this set and obviously ended up putting the rumor out about it, including all the characters, saw that Night Trooper and probably thought it was a preliminary version of what would become Captain Enoch. And so they made the obvious and fair assumption that it would eventually become him. I would have made the same assumption very likely, is that, you know, it's going to be a preliminary version of what would be like the named character, because all the other characters in the set are named characters. It stands to reason that that 5th Stormtrooper figure wouldn't just be some bland Night Trooper. It would be Captain Enoch, the main guy right next to Thrawn there. And so, yeah, unfortunately, it's not the case. I was really curious what the helmet would look like on this. I can only assume they would have made him a brand new mold. There's no reason they wouldn't have, but obviously they just didn't here. So yeah, it's rather disappointing that this set doesn't include him, because it would have been the 5 perfect characters to have in one set. Not to say the Night Trooper is bad or poorly done. Like, I don't really care much for it, but yeah, Enoch would have been better. Finally, we have a new Grand Admiral Thrawn minifigure. There's 2 big upgrades on this character compared to the 2017 version, in that the rank on his torso is finally correct. That was very hard for them to do. They even were getting it wrong in all of the recent video game appearances he had. I believe both in Fortnite and Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga for completely no reason. But finally, the official physical product has it correct, which is very, very good. And we have the dual molded legs. Not a lot of Lego Star Wars figures get dual molded legs. I believe we're still in single digit minifigs all time to have dual molded legs, but dual molded legs are fantastic here, and they really bring this figure up a tier. He just looks so much better with the boots instead of just all white legs. To wrap up this video, I briefly want to touch on what's remaining for Lego Star Wars sets coming on August 1st. We have seen everything except for Jedi Bob Starfighter and possibly the set from the Skeleton Crew, although I'm starting to think that one's really not going to come out until September 1st, so we'll see. That one could just be pushed back indefinitely. It originally was supposed to come out back in January, so it's been a long time coming. We just don't know. Jedi Bob Starfighter is the only other set that we know for sure is coming out on August 1st, though, and it could literally be revealed any day now, so, no huge update there, but, it's probably coming sooner rather than later, but it could also not be until the end of the month at San Diego Comic-Con. It's impossible to know, but between now and then. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below of these new couple of sets. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. See you later.